Yes, it's 2-5. Sports Reports is ordered. Like, review, subscribe, do all the good things, do all the free things. Check us out tomorrow night. Sports Reports is ordered. 9 o'clock Eastern. We're going to be previewing the Big 12 tomorrow night. So keeping it in that same vein of college football, let's talk about something that I saw today. So rumor says that there's some beat writers out there saying that Memphis is talking to the ACC. So for those of you that have followed Sports Reports is Ordered for the last year and a half, and for those of you that haven't, I've been a big proponent of why the hell is Memphis not in a power conference, right? So when I look at this, why Memphis, right? Because Memphis, one, has the FedEx money. You know, just like Oregon has the Phil Knight money, Maryland has the Under Armour money, Memphis has the FedEx money. It's a big enough city. And when I look at its peers, or the schools that I consider to be Memphis's peers, right? I look at Louisville. What makes Louisville any better than Memphis? Now, I know when it comes to basketball, Louisville has more national titles. Memphis doesn't have any. Louisville's a blue blood in some ways. But with football, I don't see much difference. You know, Cincinnati. Now, you got to give Cincinnati extra props because they were the only G5 team to make the playoffs before this 12-team playoff era gets underway. But what's the difference between Memphis and Cincinnati? Cincinnati hasn't had any success since, 1970 in basketball? The days of Oscar Robertson. And from that point on, you know, they had Kenyon Martin. He broke his leg. Basketball program's been buried since then. Football team just got good with Luke Fickell years ago, and I'm not too sure about Satterfield right now. You know, so when I look at Memphis, they fit that dynamic. You know, West Virginia is another peer of Memphis. You know, Memphis, bigger than Morgantown for sure. West Virginia as a state doesn't drive eyeballs, right? Like, they get most of their eyeballs from Pennsylvania. Shout out to week 1 against Penn State. First time they host Penn State, you know, since the 90s. But, you know, so when I look at the ACC, obviously this could only happen if we have movement. Now, obviously, Florida State and Clemson have the ACC in court right now, all up in the litigation. And we're waiting for some resolution to that. So if they are able to leave the ACC, there you go. That opens the door for Memphis. But then what do? You know, you would like to you lose 2, bring 2, right? So Tulane, USF, maybe USF to replace that Florida State market. Because this is the thing that people get hung up on. Florida State wasn't always Florida State. UCF came out of nowhere. Florida State had to take on the notoriety of we will play anyone, anytime, any place. Right? And that brought them notoriety. That brought them popularity because they started beating these Pitts, these Miamis, Nebraskas, so on and so forth. So what I'm saying is, if Florida State moves out the way, USF is down in Tampa. We knew UCF was going to blow up to some degree because of they're in Orlando, their enrollment. So when I look at a school like Memphis, who has such a rich history in college basketball, you know, like Penny Hardaway, going back to the 80s, back when they were Memphis State, why not Memphis? I asked it last year. I'm going to ask it again. Why not Memphis?